Hello, everybody. That's Trinity. I'm in her room. Okay. We've already established that, just in case some people didn't know. So, yes. Hi, it's Tracy from The Bed of Truth. Happy New Year. I was supposed to do this holiday edition, and I never did it. So yeah, hence I got on my holiday stuff, and we still have Trinity's holiday bedding on her bed in her room. Anyways, I hope that you had a marvelous holiday, and I hope your new year is off to a fabulous start. So really quickly, I wanted to come on here because around the holiday time, you're around family and things like that, and I was speaking with my daughter about that. And to that point, people want to be around families and things. We were talking about why is it that in some cultures that people want to put their kids out at 18, meaning like, oh, you're 18 now, so what are you going to do? Are you going to college? Are you like, what are you doing? Are you getting a job? Most parents want their kids to go to college, probably because they want to live vicariously through them because they didn't go to college. But see, I was never of that mindset. I'm like, you go to college, that's what you want to do. Do you want to take a trade? Like, what do you want to do? Whatever you want to do, as long as you're doing something. That's the key. So, yeah, so we were talking about that and everything. And I was just saying how I never wanted my daughter to leave the house until she was like getting married, moving into a family house with her husband, that whole journey, or you're moving into your own house to kind of help her establish herself, so there's no financial burdens. That was my whole thing, because I know how it was to, have to hustle, bustle, leave your leg alone, how you have to hustle and bustle and everything, and have debt, trying to save, work, and all of that. It's just a lot, and it adds stresses. So I was trying to kind of alleviate that stress, and so she went to college or what have you. And then I think when COVID came, I was too COVID conscious for her. The young people, they want to still be outside or whatever. But yeah, I wanted to be outside, but inside and safely inside, if you know what I mean. So anyways, she ended up moving out. How old was she? She ended up moving out anyways to her own place with a roommate or what have you. And still at that point, I still was like, you could still stay. I want you to save money, like I said, so you can move into a house, not an apartment. That was never, my goal for her. But she's grown. So grown kids have their own agendas. Okay? So anyways, but in talking to friends, I guess it depended on who the friend was and their current situation as far as relationships or what have you, or how many other kids they had in the house. I believe was their viewpoint on, oh, they gotta go at 18. Again, I never was of that viewpoint. I have several good friends, older friends that weren't of that viewpoint either, or I have friends that are of other cultures besides the Black, born in the U.S. culture. That's how I'll phrase it. That don't have that thinking. And like I said, I never knew why it was such a rush anyways. I did move out young, and like I said, had to hustle, bustle, went through so much drama, trauma, things I didn't have to go through had I just stayed my black butt at the hacienda in the suburbs, and or worked and did what I needed to do, whatever. But I think that the reason why was because my mom was of a different era, if you will. So for me, it was more, and because maybe we had the same like strong mind personality, and like I said, just how she was reared and everything, it just wasn't intertwining like it needed to. Let me just say that. So yes, I did move out at a young age, with my boyfriend at that time, not his dad. But yeah, And yeah, but that was good. Like I said, I don't have no regrets in life because you know what I'm saying? Life lessons. You feel what I'm saying? But in his culture, see, they all like lived in a house, 3-family house, whatever, whatever, family unit, boom, boom, boom. But again, different culture, different rearing, different mindset. So, anyways, I printed off some information, which was funny as well, because I always feel like across the pond, they seem to always be like ahead, if you will, like with medical things and different things. They just seem to be a little bit more ahead. And again, they have different views. Like, for instance, nutrition. That's a big thing now. Like how they don't allow certain things to come into their country, whereas we allow it. So anyways, they actually had information when I was doing my research. They ranked the European countries by the average age adult children, by the average age that they move out of their family home. Whereas when I did the Google search for us in America, it was like, Google was like, we don't have like concrete like data, like a graph or what have you. And I wasn't going to do a whole bunch of deep diving on it, but you could do it yourself now that you know the topic. But it was saying that the average age Europeans leave home, and the youngest was 21, and that was in Finland, followed by 22 Sweden, Denmark, 23 Estonia and the Netherlands, 24 Lithuania, Germany, France, 25 Austria and Czech, I think that's Czechoslovakia, 26 Latvia and Belgium, 27 Hungary, Cyprus, Luxembourg, Poland, 28 Romania, Ireland, Malta, Turkey, 29 Portugal, Slovenia, 30 Italy, Bulgaria, Spain, 31 Slovakia, Greece. It looks like a couple of them were dupes, and 32 Serbia, Croatia. Whereas here on ours, it was saying that the average American leaves home, it varies, but generally falls in the late teens to mid-20s. And for me, the late teens is kind of young because you still learning. Like I said, I know when I moved out, trying to be grown, whatever, it was a big learning lesson, especially coming from the suburbs, going to the city. Woo, all the lessons I learned, okay? But there were testimonies and stuff that I could share with my daughter to make sure she didn't follow that same path. Okay, so the natural trend of increasing ages due to housing costs and student debt in America was dependent on when they left home. They didn't have a state-by-state average. However, they were saying that states like Hawaii and California having higher shares, over 25%, and states like North Dakota and South Dakota having very low shares, under 10%, for ages 25 to 34 as of 2023. So let me read that whole thing for you. The average age Americans leave home varies, but generally falls in the late teens to mid-20s, with a national trend of increasing ages due to housing costs and student debt, though specific state-by-state average ages aren't as readily available as data on the percentage of young adults living at home, which shows variations with states like Hawaii, California, having higher shares over 25%, and states like North Dakota and South Dakota having very low shares under 10% for ages 25 to 34 as of 2022 to 2023. And the one for the European, that was 2020. Let me see. Yep, 2023 per the source. Key national trends for Americans. Overall, the trends, more young adults are living with their parents longer, with the share of 25 to 34-year-olds living at home rising. They had an article in the Urban Institute in Bowling Green State University, if you want to do your research. The median age. One analysis suggests a median age around 19 for the first move out. Now, I could say that. Let me speak to that. So yes, I moved out young. I think I was 18? 17? I graduated when I was 17, so 18, 17 and a half, 18. But then I did move back for a very brief moment when me and my child's father broke up. I did move back, but it was for a very brief moment, and then we moved out back. We moved to the suburbs and got a condo up there. Anyways, okay. So yes, so around 19 for the first move out, but many boomerang back, say the authors of a Bureau of Labor Statistics article. Economic factors are high housing costs, is why they move back, student debt, and later marriages are major reasons for delays, explains this article from the Urban Institute. While specific ages by state, again, aren't common, data shows significant differences in the percentage of 25 to 34-year-olds living at home. Thought that was interesting. But then we have some of the pros and cons. So some of the pros of staying your butt at home is, first of all, you can create some sort of financial security for yourself. It fosters maturity and individualism, because a lot of times when these kids move out, they don't have a clue. I didn't have a clue. I mean, I had a clue, but I didn't have a clue about city life and boyfriend and all that came with that, let me just say. Other pros are staying at home is stability, close-knit families, and shared responsibilities, i.e. bills, chores, and all of that. Also, a pro is where you could stay until you marry, which, okay, so you're here in one unit and then you move to your own unit. You know what I'm saying? Easier transition. Now you got, you know what I'm saying, your companion, your provider and protector. We'll talk about that in another video. You're moving out with your provider and protector from your home where you had shared responsibilities, i.e. bills, chores, and things, to another situation that's equally the same. Sort of like what the Bible says, evenly yoked. Yeah, we got to get back on the evenly yoked. Okay, so some of the cons are moving out too soon can create emotional distance, financial stress on young adults, societal pressures. You know what I'm saying? Well, you should be doing this, and that. You know what I'm saying? You're not really sure. You're young in your mind. You don't got no experience. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to call your friends who don't got no experience neither. You should be calling your parents who may or may not have any experience, you know, because some parents just want you to figure it out yourself. Another con is less emphasis on individual freedom and pressures to conform to family expectations if you choose to stay. And that's true, because now in this world, 2026, well, I would say from like 2022 to 2026, there's a lot of stuff that I've unlearned that I was taught from maybe my grandparents, whose parents taught them, who my mom learn from my grandparents, who she taught me, or from friends, or what have you. You know what I'm saying? Some things it's like, no, I ain't doing that no more. I don't believe in that. Let me go and do some research on that, because the good book tells us what? Read to show yourself approved. And yes, the good book has been written a million times, this, that, but you gotta have something to believe in, don't you? Yeah. I like to be positive. So, yeah, the good book says, read to show yourself approved, period. And they didn't mean just the Bible. They meant just in life, period. Because especially now, in this AI generation, you better be trying to figure it out, fact find, make sure it's the truth, make sure it ain't an AI video. I digress. I was about to say something else, but I'm not going to say that. Yeah, you better read to show yourself approved, especially nowadays, because you cannot believe everything you see on TV, even probably here on the radio, because they got AI generated probably for the radio. If they got it for the musicians and the actresses, we don't even know who's who no more. But I'm real. Let me see. Ow! Yeah, I'm pinching myself, see, and it made a mark. I'm real. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Anyways, that is all. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Should you, even if you don't have children, I hate when people say, well, you don't have no kids, so you don't know, but you got common sense. So those that want to chime in, that have the common sense and the ability to critical think, please chime in. I wanted to know, do you agree with kicking kids out at a certain age? Do you agree that just because they're 30, they need to go? And the reason why. Now, if you 30 and you ain't doing nothing, oh yeah, you should. If you 20 and you ain't doing nothing, if you're 18 and you ain't doing nothing, yeah, we need to figure out how we need to make you be doing something. Because yeah, you got to figure out your next step out this door. If you're not motivated and not trying to do nothing with your life, yeah, we got to figure that out way before 30. But like I said, I want some comments in the below to let me know. Kicking your kids out early or helping them build wealth. You know what I'm saying? You know, like fast forward. That's, you know what I'm saying? I'm moving silence and we legacy building over here. You know what I'm saying? I may have got a later start than some people, but guess what? I'm always on my grind. Please know that. From the bed of truth. Y'all have a great day. To the next episode. Ciao and stay warm. It's freezing. What'd you say, Trinity? You want to say hey to the people? Oh, she over there. You want to say hey? Say hey. She probably want me to get out of her room. Anyways, have a great day. Ciao.